just wanted to give you a quick overview of stuff, what's in my trapping bag, what I take to the field with me, what I take to the sets with me every time I set my trap, so you can kind of see what I think is important, what I think I need to have and don't want to be caught without when I'm setting my traps, and then also some things that probably don't have to have, but I think is nice to have. So first is trapping gloves. You know, you need something. People debate about it around and around, but you need something to ensure that you're not putting whatever scents on your hands on your trap. So I like these rubber palm gloves. They got a mesh back, they're breathable, and they say nitrile coated, but I really like these. They fit to my hands good, so that's my choice of trapping gloves. Next up, I've got a sifter. This is a little bit heavier duty sifter. You know, some of them have just got the kind of like screen wire, and this is not super heavy duty, but it's a little heavier duty. You know, you're going to be running a lot of stuff through your sifter. You're putting pressure on that, so you know it never hurts to make sure you got a good quality sifter. Next up is my hammer. You know, this is what I'm using to drive stakes. This is a 3-pound mini sledge, and I like to have this little cutting blade on the back of it. You know, it's angled, it's not very sharp, but you know, when you're trying to dig your trap bed, you're going to run into roots and stuff, and having something that you can put a little weight behind really is worthwhile. Really helps cutting through roots or hard ground or something like that. So that's my preference. 3-pound sledge with the sod buster or little blade, whatever you want to call it, on the back. Of course, then I got my trowel. This is one of the wider trowels. I know they make some wide ones and narrow one. I kind of like a wider one. And with the D handle. The D handle is especially if you're trapping in a little bit hard ground, that D handle just gives you so much ability to torque, and it's worth a few extra bucks to get the D handle. Of course, I've also got one of these. I think this is one of J.C. Connor's heavy duty hoes, a little trapping hoe. It's pretty darn handy. You need to clear out a space really quickly or chop out your trap bed. I don't use it all the time, but I keep it in there, and I like having it around. And like I say, it's stout. Anything from J.C. Connor is gonna hold up. Of course, I got whatever pan cover I'm using. These particular pan covers are just trash bags cut up in little squares. Usually I use polyfill, but this is what I got at the moment, so that's what I got in here in a plastic bag to try to keep them scent free. And then I got a couple of, I need to sort out some of this stuff, but I got a couple of stake drivers here. I've got one of the Iowa disposable stake or the bullet style stake drivers. I actually like this. I don't use the Iowa disposable stakes anymore, but I like having this stake driver in. Same thing could be done with a piece of rebar, but you know, it makes really nice punch holes. You know, I don't always want a big hole when I'm setting traps. Sometimes I just want a small hole. So that's mainly why I keep this around, is just to make a little punch hole for a set that I want a little bit more subtlety than a big dirt hole. And then I've got the stake driver, the stakes that I've been using more recently, and that I'm currently using. These are the ones that Mark June sells, and this is one of those stake drivers. I like those a lot. You don't get with the Iowa disposable stakes, you get the tip of it kind of mushrooming a little bit, and the stakes can get hung in there. And this has got a collar so that you're not actually pounding and putting pressure on the end of the stake driver. You're putting it on the collar here. So I don't have a lot of years under it yet, but so far I like it a lot. And then this is, you know, for a while I used pogo stakes, washer cable stakes, and I like that a lot. And I usually keep a pogo stake driver with me because I still use it sometimes when I'm water trapping, you know, to anchor off coon traps or something like that. So that's all that's on the inside of my trap bag. And then I've got a couple of pockets on the outside. I like to have an S-hook tool. Yeah, it just never hurts to have extra S-hook tools and have one stuck here and there. You never know when you might need it. I also got a spring-loaded wire cutters, cable cutters. Those things are worth the money. These aren't quite as handy. They don't open themselves anymore, but I like having these around, especially when I was using cable stakes. I started using chain stakes, but for using cable stakes, man, if you need to pull that trap, just cut that stake. That's the way to go. And then I've got just a pair of slip joint pliers. Come in handy for all kinds of stuff. I try to have one of these all over the place, but you know, if you need to adjust your pan tension or adjust the trap frame a little bit, one of these. I like having these slip joint pliers in. And speaking of adjusting your trap frame, this is, I don't even remember honestly what these tools are called, but it goes over your dog and adjusts that portion of your trap where your dog is. So, you know, if you have a trap that gets run over, or you know, gets fought real hard by a coyote or something like that, frame may get warped or something. This or either sometimes channel locks is the only thing that, you know, is stout enough to adjust that trap frame reasonably easily. So, you know, I don't use this very much, but it's nice when I do need it. And then I always keep a flathead and a Phillips head screwdriver, especially when I was running 1 3/4 Victors, because of the pans on those. And you know, for whatever reason, some traps have a Phillips head and some traps have a flathead. So if I ever needed to adjust the pan tension, I liked having both of these, and the slip joint pliers was the main reason I carried those. Since I'm running MB550s, those don't get used as much, but out of habit, I guess, and it's always, I just like having them. And then usually I have at least one bottle of lure, or like a gland lure, just something that's really handy if I need to just touch up something really quick. I don't, especially in the inside, I don't want lures in contact with all my trapping equipment, but you know, on the outside, just one here or there, I'll usually keep at least 1 or 2 with my trapping bag, to make sure if I need it in a pinch, I got it real quick and easily accessible. And that's all there is to, you know, that's what I carry on the line all the time. Maybe a little extra, but there's so many extra things that you could carry. This is what I've whittled down to so far that works well for me.